this is Luann Ford. I'm the First Lady here at Northeast Mississippi Community College, and we're so glad that you've joined us for our freezer meal segments for the spring 2021. These can be viewed here at Northeast Fitness Facebook page, and then also on the Northeast YouTube channel. But the first, we're going to do 4 different recipes, and the first one that we were going to do today is meatloaf. Now, we like meatloaf. I like to make meatloaf, and I like to, when I do, I like to freeze it and put it in the freezer and then bring it out, either give it to somebody or bring it out, let it thaw out, and then cook it. So today I'm going to show you how I do mine. We really, really, really like it, and I'll show you how I put it up. So we're going to start today by doing our binder. And so what I like to use for my binder for my meatloaf is oats. Now, the reason that I use oats is because it's easy for me. We always have oats. Ricky eats them my husband eats them every morning. So that's why I use oats, but you could also use breadcrumbs. But I just use those. So it's a cup of oats, and you can use quick or you can use old-fashioned. I use whatever I have. Usually it's the old-fashioned, but they have the quick, and really the quick does better. So I'm going to go ahead and do those and let those sit in a half a cup of milk, and we'll let those kind of soak up that milk. I've got my meat here, but first I want to go on to the sauce. The sauce has got to be cooked, and so it's got to be boiled on the stove. So I'm going to go ahead and start that and let that be boiling. So I'll take a half a cup of ketchup. We'll have the recipe linked here, and the recipe calls for either ketchup or tomato sauce. I just use ketchup because I like it better. It also has, ketchup has some sugar in it. And 2, I always have ketchup. Sometimes I have let's see if I can get this out of here. Sometimes I'll have tomato sauce, but I always have ketchup. So it's a half a cup of ketchup. Set that to the side over here. 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. I hope I'm saying that correctly. So we'll go 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of that. Let me set that to the side. Then we have 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar. You could use light or dark. I have light here today. So this is 1/4 of a cup of that. Set that over here to the side, get that out of our way. And then we have 1/4 of a cup of vinegar. Now today I have apple cider vinegar because that's just what I happen to have. But if you have white vinegar, you can certainly use that. So there's 1/4 of a cup of vinegar. Now, if you want to put onions in this, you can. That's optional, and you'll see that when you see the recipe. I don't, because we have onions in our meatloaf, so I don't do that. I just do the vinegar, the Worcestershire sauce, the brown sugar, and the ketchup. Okay, I take a whisk so that I can get that all nicely mixed together. And I'm going to set it over here to the side. We have I'm going to use this for my cooking surface, so I don't want it to be hot. For my preparation surface. So I'm putting it over there, and we're going to let that come to a boil. And Robert, if I can get you to kind of just keep an eye on that to make sure that when it boils, you'll just turn that off. Robert is the head of fitness center, so thanks, Robert. He's over here helping. All right, so let's get to work on our meatloaf. For the meatloaf, we're going to have, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to take this milk container I had earlier, 1 egg. So I'm going to go ahead and break that egg, and I'm going to go ahead and mix it up. Let's see, I had a fork here somewhere, but I'm not going to worry about, oh, there it is, there's the fork. All right, so this is going to be 1 egg, and I'm going to go ahead and throw it into my mixture, which was the oatmeal and the milk, or the breadcrumbs and milk, if that's what you decide to use. Okay, we're going to add some pepper to this. I'm just going to use 1/4 of a cup of pepper. fourth of a cup, what am I saying? Fourth of a teaspoon of pepper. Then we're going to use a teaspoon and a half of salt. So there's your half, and here's your teaspoon. All right. Then we're going to grab our ketchup again, and we're going to put a fourth of a cup of ketchup in this mixture. All right. So let's go over this again. Robert, how's our? Would you stir that with the whisk there?
Yes, ma'am.
And we can show everybody what that looks like here in just a second. All right, so we got a fourth of a cup. All right, so here we go, guys. All right, what we have is, oh, I forgot one very important ingredient. And that is our onion. I'm gonna go ahead and chop this onion up. Everybody chops up an onion differently, don't they? I just want to go ahead and show you guys how I chop mine up. First of all, I cut off the ends. Now guys, if you've watched my videos before, you know that I save these ends. I freeze them. And then whenever I am cooking some... Okay, Robert, we'll cut that off. Let me show these guys. All right, guys, look. Okay, that's come to a boil. So we're going to go ahead and cut that off. Robert, I'm just going to let that sit there. Thank you for your help with that. So our sauce is done. We're just going to let it sit there till we need it. Okay, so what I do with those ends of the onion, I do the same thing with celery and with carrot ends, and I'll put them in the freezer. And then when I cook chicken, I put them in with my chicken and cook it like that. And that way I have some good broth. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll cut my onion in half. And so then I will lay the flat side down so that it doesn't roll, so I don't get cut. And then I'll just, since already our onion has got little ribs in it, so to speak, there's no need for me to cut the onion two ways. So I can just cut it one way, and already we've got little dices of the onion. So that's a great thing. Now, if you do not like onion in your meatloaf, then skip it. If you like onion and your children don't, you could always use dried onion, minced onion that you buy dried, or you could use onion powder, or just skip it all together. You just do what you like. But we like this, and so that's why I put so much onion in. Okay, so now let's recap, now that I just remembered about my onion. In our bowl, we have 1 cup of oatmeal, or you could use breadcrumbs. To that I added a half a cup of milk and let that soak in. Then I put salt and I put pepper, I put ketchup, and just now I put an egg, and I just now put an onion. Now, if you don't like that much onion, you can use less, whatever you want. Okay. Now, mix that up first, because I don't want to get pockets of various things in my meat. Okay, now this meat is not ground beef, it's ground chuck. Because when you cook a meatloaf, then you're going to have all that grease come out. And grease is okay, but we don't want much of it. So when I buy ground chuck, and I make this with ground chuck, now not ground round, because to me, meatloaf doesn't taste very good unless it has a little bit of fat in it. So I usually buy ground chuck when it goes on sale, and I'll go ahead and portion it out. This is a cup, this is a pound and a half. Now guys, you're gonna have to use your fingers with this because you can't do it any other way. You can't get everything mixed up any other way. One thing too that I like about meatloaf is, Ricky and I, now that just 2 of us, to make a whole loaf is a lot. Now Ricky likes it. I mean, we'll eat it the first day when I make it. Then I'll put it in the refrigerator. And he'll usually go back the second day and he'll eat it he'll cut a piece off. It's easier to cut off the second day. And he'll make a meatloaf sandwich. Then a lot of times what I'll do is I'll slice the rest of it. And because it'll easily slice, then I'll take a piece of wax paper and I'll put one slice on the wax paper. Then I'll take another piece of wax paper and I'll put it on top of that one and slice another slice and put a top on that. And then I'll wrap that up in foil and then I'll just pull it out and thaw it out. I'm gonna have to wash my hands. I'll pull it out and I'll thaw it out and we'll have it another day. I've just cooked once and already I've got 2 or 3 meals. Depends on how much I've got left. Now remember, be careful, be safe if you're working with raw meat, always. Okay, so now let's talk about the freezer part. If I was going to cook this now, I would just go ahead and take my loaf pan, and I use a 9-inch loaf pan, a big loaf pan. I'd spray it with Pam, I'd put it in here, I'd put the sauce on top, I'd bake it at 350 for an hour. But I'm not, because we're doing what? Freezer meals. So what I do is I spray my thing with my container with Pam. Looks like I have a brand new thing of plastic wrap here. I'm gonna have to work on. And then I line it with plastic wrap, all right? So guys, we're gonna go this way first and leave ourselves a lot of extra lip, all right? We're gonna push it down in there. All right, we're gonna go back the other way. Now things get freezer burned if they're exposed to oxygen, to the air. And that's what we don't want to do. So we want to make sure all of that is good. All right, there we go. All right, now I'm going to take my hands again, which means I'll have to wash them again, yes. All right, so I'm going to put my meatloaf in here in the plastic wrap. All right. Now I'm going to mash it down so that we don't have any air pockets, because remember what we talked about? Air pockets cause freezer burn, right? Which is why so many people don't like to put things in the freezer. All right, so there's what I have. Now I'm going to take these 3 fingers and I'm going to make indentions in the top of this for the sauce. So here I go. All right. All right, see what we got? All right, now we go washing again. You can never be too careful when you're working with food, guys. Please, never be too careful. Make sure you have stuff to wash your hands, keep everything clean. All right, so we have this completely surrounded with the plastic wrap. So now I'm going to take the sauce here, and I'll just, let's see, what will I use? I'll just use this right here. And we're going to pour the sauce on top of this, completely covered. Now I know a lot of people, I know growing up, we just took straight up ketchup. And that's okay, but this sauce is delicious, guys. All right, so it went down in those holes, and this is what we have. Okay, now, listen carefully. This is liquidy. So what I do is I take this just like this, and I'll take this and put this in the freezer. All right, I'll go back and check it in a couple hours. And if the top is frozen, then I'll close the plastic wrap up. If you close the plastic wrap up right now, it'll stick and it won't, and then when you peel it off, it'll peel the sauce off with it. If you leave it too long in the freezer, it'll get freezer burned, so watch it, okay? So leave this in there, let it freeze. I'm gonna set this to the side, and I'm gonna go get one that I've already done. All right, this is one that I've already prepared, okay? This is one I did the other day. All right, now do you see how I closed it up with plastic wrap? All right, now here's what happens. I went ahead and did this the other day. so I can have it here for you guys. But I've already closed it up with plastic wrap. See? This is already closed with plastic wrap, and it's hard on the top. So what I'll do, see if we can get this hot. What I'm gonna do is to pop this out of there. And in order to pop it out, I'm gonna have to get some hot water back here. And while I'm gonna run some hot water on the back of this until I can pull this out. Like right now, I can't pull this out. Let me go ahead and get my foil ready while I'm waiting on that. Let's see if I can find my foil. There it is. I got it right here. All right. This foil I had used just because I was waiting on this for you guys. So when I put it in the, so we want to wrap it, plastic wrap is not enough to keep your food from being freezer burned. Let me see if this is hot back here now. All right, so what I'm doing, guys, I don't know if you can see me, but I've got this upside down. And so what I'm doing is trying to warm up the bottom of this so that I can pop it out. Now remember, I already put some Pam, I sprayed some oil spray on the bottom of this, so it should pop out, but remember it was frozen. So let me see. Let's see, Tony, if we can. Oh, there it comes. All right, come back over here with me, guys. So now we have our frozen, see what we have. All right, now, if I was gonna cook this, I would pull the plastic wrap up, I would grab myself my pan, I would pop it in there, I'd let it thaw, and I'd bake it an hour for at 350. But, or I would put it in just a regular pan. It doesn't have to be in a loaf pan. Got it? But for right now, I want to save it because I don't know when I'm going to need it. So I popped it out. I don't want to freeze it in my pan because I may need my pan for something else, my loaf pan. So I'm going to take my plastic wrap, put it back like it was. I'm going to completely cover it so that we will have no air get to it. All right. So there's my, put it in foil. We're going to do a freezer wrap on it. So I'll pull up one side, pull up the other side. And then I'll fold it, turn my sides under. I'll write meatloaf on here. And I'll write the day that I made it, and I'll go put it in the freezer. Now, this is ready for me to go give to somebody. Oh, somebody has died. Go get it out. Oh, so-and-so just had a baby. Go get it out. Oh, there's nothing in the house. It's the end of the month, and we don't have any money to go to the grocery store. Boom. Pull this out, put it in the refrigerator, let it thaw overnight, cook it. I hope you guys enjoy this meatloaf recipe. It really, really is delicious. What you might want to do is make more than one. Make one to eat, make one to freeze, or make two to freeze. And that way you'll always have something in the freezer. I hope you enjoy this recipe. Thank you so much for tuning in to Northeast. Thank you so much for supporting Northeast, for everything you do for us. Have a great day.